I'll be ready. Francis Ngannou has once again reminded Tyson Fury that they're supposed to fight. In a series of tweets, Ngannou asked Fury to man up and fight him in a boxing ring. Quote, "Stop talking, Tyson, and come try. I'm already doing you a favor using your gloves and your rules because of your limited skill set." Ngannou made the tweets hours after Dana White challenged Tyson Fury to an MMA fight against UFC heavyweight champion John Jones.
All these boxing guys want to talk about this, and they want to keep it in the ring. I'm telling Tyson Fury, whom I respect very much, if you really want to find out who the baddest man on the planet is, I will make that fight.
Fury didn't respond to Dana because he's already told him that he'll only fight Jones in a boxing ring. However, he did have a response for Ngannou. Quote, "I'll have 15 pints and still knock you out, you big stiff tramp." While Ngannou prioritizes a fight with Fury, Deontay Wilder is actually more than willing to lock horns with former UFC heavyweight champion. And Tom Aspinall thinks Wilder is a much easier fight for the Predator than Fury.
I would love to see him and Wilder, because it's just two massive guys just who can just punch holes in walls. It's ridiculous. I would love to see that. I think if there was anybody that he could beat, it would be Wilder, because Wilder is... I don't want to slag the guy off because he's one of the hardest punchers ever, but as far as actual boxing ability, his level's way lower than someone like an Usyk or a Tyson Fury or somebody like that.
Terence Crawford, one of the top pound-for-pound boxers in the world, disagrees with Aspinall. He thinks Ngannou stands zero chance against any top heavyweight boxer, including Deontay Wilder.
Listen, that guy is a puncher. He's doing his thing in MMA, but it's different over there, you know, calling out the top heavyweights of the world today. I don't see him having a chance with either one of those guys. And that's just being honest. One guy that you gonna get one shot, and if you mess up, you're gonna be knocked out until next week for messing with Deontay Wilder. He hit you, you going to sleep.
Yeah.
He hit you, going to sleep. Deontay Wilder, he hit you, going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury, he went to sleep and woke up. So, and I don't see too many other guys doing that. Deontay Wilder, he's one of the biggest punchers ever. So let's just, keep that in mind.
Tom Aspinall or Terence Crawford, who do you agree with? Paddy Pimblett shares the timeline for his return to the Octagon, but before we dive deeper into that story, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thank you. Paddy Pimblett is back in the gym after staying out of action for months due to an ankle injury, and he's now itching to kick some fart's head in.
I can't wait. I'm hoping to fight before the end of the year, to be honest. Kick some little fart's head in. I was in my last fight, lad. It was a bad performance. I've said it myself. You're only as good as your last fight, lad, and I look But when I come back, lad, everyone will be sucking me ass again.
Paddy is making the most of his time away from fighting. Recently, he tied the knot with his longtime girlfriend, Laura Gregory. He shared photos of his big day on Instagram, and this is what he wrote, quote, 28th May 2023. What a day from start to finish. We couldn't have asked for better weather, atmosphere, or people we had around us. I would like to thank everyone who came. Laura is finally Mrs. Pimblett now, even though we've been a married couple for years. Pimblett hasn't fought in the UFC Octagon since a controversial decision victory over Jared Gordon at UFC 282 last December. Speaking about Jared Gordon, Dana White isn't happy with him. Gordon accepted a short-notice fight against Jim Miller at UFC Vegas 74, less than a month after getting KO'd by Bobby Green after a clash of heads. During a pre-fight press talk, Gordon claimed that he suffered a concussion against Green. Gordon was pulled from the Miller fight, and Dana White was furious at him for not having told him about the concussion sooner.
Yeah, when you come in here on press day and you announce that you had a concussion 6 weeks ago and you healed yourself from the concussion, yeah, you're done. We're not going to let you fight with a... Yeah, we pulled him because, he basically said he should have told us that 6 weeks ago. You know what I mean? You should have showed at least the company and your opponent some respect and at least did that 6 weeks ago. You're not a fucking doctor. You didn't cure yourself from a concussion.
Good news, fight fans. Chris Weidman is back. The former middleweight champion will make his return to the octagon against Brad Tavares at UFC 292. Weidman last fought in April of 2021 when he suffered a gruesome compound fracture and a broken leg that ended his fight against Uriah Hall. After some good news, here's some bad news for fans of Makwan Amirkhani and Ilir Latifi. They are out of the UFC for now after fighting out their contracts, and it doesn't seem likely that the UFC would re-sign them. Latifi, who signed with the UFC in 2013, is coming off a loss and has lost 4 out of his last 6 fights, whereas Amirkhani signed with the UFC in 2015 and is currently 1-5 in his last 6 outings. Was Mark Zuckerberg recently put to sleep in a grappling tournament? By now, you guys must have watched viral videos of Mark Zuckerberg bagging medals at a recent grappling tournament in California. But there was also a moment when he was allegedly choked out, according to referee and BJJ brown belt Lucas Costa. In a recent interview with Bloody Elbow, this is what Costa claimed, and I quote, "It was in gi, and Mark Zuckerberg got choked out. That was the video you saw. I stopped it, and he wanted to check with me about why I stopped it. He didn't know what was happening, which was one of the reasons I stopped it. But he had started to snore, and the rule set says that snoring is a version of a verbal tap." Zuckerberg protested Costa's call, but the BJJ brown belt is adamant that Zuck was out. Quote, "I was paying even more attention because it was Mark. He got caught in an Ezekiel choke, and I waited, but he didn't fight back. And I was waiting, but on the 3rd snore, I had to stop the fight. He was very polite, but he wanted to know how the rules work." In an email to the New York Times, Zuckerberg denied getting choked out, saying that it never happened, and that Costa mistook his grunts for snoring. Tim Elliott is ready to lock horns with the scariest prospect in the UFC flyweight division, Mokaev. Elliott made a successful return to the octagon in the most recent card at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, defeating Victor Altamirano by decision. During the post-fight press conference, Elliott was asked about Mokaev, and this is what he had to say.
Mohamed Mokaev called you out for, I believe, August. Is that a fight that interests you at all?
For sure. I mean, he calls me out every weekend. Everybody calls me out. I mean, I want to fight the 36-year-old crippled guy too. Let's go. I'll fight whoever, whenever. I've always been that guy.
Mokaev showed his excitement by calling Elliott, quote-unquote, a real man in a tweet. Quote, "That's what you call a real man. Let's go. UFC, I'm waiting for the contract." Mokaev is an undefeated fighter with 4 wins in the UFC. He recently beat Jafel Fijo at UFC 286, where he survived a gruesome knee bar to score a submission win of his own. Who do you think would win a potential flyweight fight between Mohamed Mokaev and Tim Elliott? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.